Welcome and hello everybody to the Jane Live 365 Healthy by Choice Thursday weekly live event. It's always an honor and privilege to have all of you here. And this evening we have got a great lineup. I just want to share, it's been a watershed moment the last 2 weeks. It always is, but even more so. The last 2 weeks, and I want to really share with you this evening some of the major breakthroughs, the miracle medicine case studies that we've been experiencing here. Apart from being a type of a medical ER online center clinic, I really feel that we are doing a massive service to humanity and to people who are ill. Honestly, stretching across the spectrum from, very ill COVID people in hospital on ventilators, doing our best, helping the family, supporting everybody, and some of them moving out of the ICUs and some of them not. It just depends also on what the parameters are and how serious it is for each individual person. And I have posted before on our groups the actual symptoms and the kind of the profile. And I'm going to be talking about hypoadrenia just now and stress. And I want to tell you that I think it's one of the biggest killers, because the COVID people that don't make it have got basically flat adrenals, no very little electromagnetic charge. So we're always talking about an electromagnetic charge. We're always talking about plug in the cell phone and get the cell phone charged, plug in yourself and get yourself charged. Our major product that does that is Almost Gold. But it's quite difficult to raise a person from a very low base, from hypoadrenia, especially when they're in hospital and the kidneys are being, and all the detox organs are being hit really hard with all the medicines and everything else, and more stress. It's really hard to raise someone from a very low space. So we will talk about that, but just to say, we've looked at all of that. We've looked at serious infections, co-infections, Lyme's, mycoplasmas, and a bit of biowarfare infections as well. Everything that goes with COVID, but also individually. Some of them spike the blood pressure very badly. And in fact, I've got a lady right now on here, and I need to actually just load her quickly. Just get a program running for her because she's really battling a little bit. I just want to run the circulation program for her so that we can keep her moving along. And then I'll be back with you. I just want to get it on here. All right, let's just see. Telling me the heart muscle. So this lady actually came in with a blood pressure of 220 over 125. That is, I've never seen a blood pressure that high before. So it's a problem. And I'll tell you now that she's got extremely high Lyme's disease and extremely high mycoplasma. And I believe, and also toxicity. Germanium is through the roof. It's 450 out of 100. So let me just put this on for a little bit of time, and then if you don't mind, from time to time, I'm just going to load it up a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to be talking about all of those things as well. I'm also want to talk about the skin. Anybody who watched the new Immune Live series last night that I run with Professor Desiree Dubonnet will have seen the magnificent skin turnaround. So I'll just start there. Our 85-year-old patient, very hard to fix up skin and liver and things like that when you're getting on in time, and takes a long time, and it's very itchy and it's very burny. Anyway, this particular patient did what I said. He listened to everything I said to him to do and went through the intensive itch. He basically shed his skin like a snake sheds the skin and grew a new one. And I think with the help of this piezo time crystal device, and also the 365 products that had been leading up to him wearing one of these devices, we've now got brand new skin. The redness is gone. It's literally baby skin. The whole face, his whole self is just absolutely renewed. He doesn't look anywhere close to 85. And I want to say that I was very worried at one stage about him because he lost a lot of weight. I remember actually I was at Jackson's Whole Food Emporium, and I actually got the trolley, and I just went around the shop and I filled it with everything, and I showed him how to cook it and how to eat. And we were able to build him up. He put on 5 kilos, and as I said, and today he's walking around with this baby skin, brand new baby skin. Started off with the bladder cancer, and he went for the chemo and all of that. So you see, if you've got a large amount of toxins in your body to start with, and then you overload it with even more, and hammer the nerve endings and hammer the liver, and you don't ever recover from that, the rest of the detox organs, namely the skin and sometimes the lungs, have to work extra hard. So what was happening is he was secreting an excessive amount of the toxins out through his skin because the liver was compromised, and in fact the kidney, bladder too, because of the bladder cancer itself. So we've always got to make sure, and I talk a lot about the detox organs and making sure that the liver, the lungs, the kidney, the skin, and the gut are clear, and the lymph for that matter, so that we can detoxify. If we can detoxify, we're not going to build up toxins. So we obviously did quite a lot of liver work with him too. So I used the Skio, and I used our Ormus Gold, I used our Cell Vitality Oxygen Drops, the Microbiome Reset, the flaxseed oil. We used a Chunka Piedra as well, which is the decalcification herb, because it also helps descale, if you like, the vessels, the liver, the kidney, the brain, the bones, the joints, wherever there's scale buildup, calcification buildup, it clears and streamlines the body there too. So we got all that. We changed his diet too from, to a no heated fat at all nutrition. And so here we have him today, alive and well and full of life. He was also full of parasites and tended to over-rationalize. And it was one of those, it was verbal diarrhea. He never stopped. Eventually I had to say to him, shh, just be quiet now, be quiet. And I mentioned yesterday as well, we took the hearing aids out because of the quantum Skio, and he started talking to us. So the decalcification, the Chunka Piedra decalcified all the calcification in the jawbone here and in the ear. The otitis media, the ringing in the ears, it's all gone. So we're getting to the point now where he actually probably doesn't really need his hearing aids anymore. So, wearing of glasses, wearing of hearing aids, etc., it's usually and largely due to toxicity buildup. So he was really, really a surprise yesterday when he walked in, because I didn't know who this guy was. I never recognized him. He was amazing, and his temperament and just peace and calm and lovely. So I'm really, really, really thrilled with everything that he did. It's just really amazing. So lovely to be able to share that with you as well. And I'm just seeing here all of you, welcoming the rest of you here. It's really nice to see you all sitting here. Great, great, great. Okay. So let's have a look at the next one. I see some of you sitting in the group. And Helen's saying quite incredible. Yes, I think Helen was listening last night, and she actually saw the photographs. So the before and afters were really huge. I think I can pull it up quickly. Let me see if I can do it quickly enough. You know, I just think this is the kind of thing that that people should see, should definitely see. It's this one here. Well, hang on, let me just close it. What's it called? 28th. Let me see if I can pull it up quickly. Yeah, I might as well show you it, because there's quite a bit of value in it too. I just think it's just beautiful, because when people come, then, you know, I'm ready for them. Yay. I've got it for us. Just take a second or two to pull it through. So I'm very proud of him. And I think also what pushed it over the edge was him using this device, because our time crystal, he put it all over his skin as well, and on the liver, and left it there. He taped it. So it was there for an hour or 2 hours on each part, which was really itchy parts and all the rest of it. And it was so beautiful to see during the assessment, because he just lay down quietly. There was no noise from him. It was just beautiful. Thanks. I'm going to show them now. I've just pulled them through. So it's worth it to see it again. Even me, I also can't actually believe that we managed to get this. First of all, let me just show you these pictures here. This is his radiation panel, which we have on the skio. And this was the one that we started with. I'll make it a bit bigger. So you can see the sort of values. You know, we're dealing with some really high values here, particularly at the bottom. 208, 205, 173, 205 extra low frequencies. What do these all actually mean? So extra low frequencies you get from the computer. They're very low. You can't actually obviously hear them, but they're there. And then we've got all of these, which are the power tools and the megahertz. And then at the bottom here, we've got X-ray frequencies, gamma rays, which come from outside, alpha, beta rays, mobile phone, color TVs and computer terminals and things. Anyway, if we have a look here, this one, and if you just have a look and you can see, you can just cast your eye down. I mean, a significant difference in the frequency. So I'm very happy about that, just regarding the time crystal pendant that we have. And then here the pictures are, he came in legs swollen, by the way. And then we got them to there when he came. This is in the shop. And then this here is at my practice. A little while later, he lost all the inflammation, but you can see all this terrible red burn. Literally, it's metal toxicity coming out. It's parasites. It's really, really bad. And then here you see what happens is with the treatment that we use, you start scaling, descaling, and you start removing all the old stuff. But once the skin's burnt and all the toxins are out, the scale starts coming, and that thing leaves. You can see it start the last bits at the bottom there, and then the skin starts looking better. By the way, he had the scale all over his head as well. And then we can start seeing a slightly smoother skin coming through. Not scaly anymore, but still very red. And that was his arm. And then here are the pictures from yesterday. So if I make that one nice and big, here's this baby skin. This is just brand new baby skin. And on his arm as well. Still a little bit of redness there that needs to go, but this was not looking like this. If you have a look at those pictures before, there's the leg. But if you have a look at this arm here, I mean, that's serious burn. That's serious detox. Now, the whole time, I was helping his liver out, because the liver is the main problem here. If his liver had been sorted out earlier, he wouldn't have got such a bad, it wouldn't have been such a bad reaction, put it that way. So I'm very, very pleased about that. And he's also very, very pleased with himself too. So let's have a look at what the next one is that I want to be looking at. All right. So then I've done the skin one. Let's do the stress and the hypoadrenia, because that's a very interesting one as well. And, I just want to say at this point that, like I said in the beginning, hypoadrenia is a very big problem today. And those people that are not making it with COVID are the stressed people with hypoadrenia. Every single time. You just don't have the electromagnetic field, the electromagnetic force to get better. It's not about having enough food or enough. It's not about that. It's about having the minerals in your body and the electromagnetic field. And that's why I love this time crystal, because it gives me an electromagnetic field, a scalar electromagnetic field. It's supercharging me all the time, and it's warding off negative aberrant forces. So you're in danger if your adrenals are low. And there's only really one way to measure it. One really good way to measure it, put it that way, from a holistic point of view, and that's on the quantum skio. So we have a lady, a client that I did an assessment with. In fact, there are two people. I'm going to speak about the other lady after this. I'm going to talk about the COVID, the mycoplasma, and the adrenals as well, why she's battling to get better and why all her friends got better, and she can't understand why her friends got better. The reason is because she's absolutely flat. Her battery's flat, and we have to wait for it to charge. But anyhow, we kept her out of hospital, which is great. So let's just do the general hypoadrenemia and stress. Now that, I think a lot of us, 6 out of 7 people, according to Professor Deja Dubonnet, have flat adrenals. 6 out of 7. And only 1 out of 7 can afford to fix it. So we have a patient with this, and I did the assessment with her, and I saw stress, I saw hypoadrenia, covering all of this. And when you're really stressed, then you don't eat properly, you don't absorb properly, the blood pressure doesn't circulate properly, all the parasympathetic nervous system functions. So we got a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic one is the fight or flight. You're running from the lion all day. Most people are doing that. The parasympathetic is the one that comes in underneath and is responsible for digestion, elimination, circulation, all the involuntary movements of the body. So if the sympathetic is sitting up here and the parasympathetic is low, it's not getting a chance to do the normal bodily functions properly for you. And then you just start creating a lower energy field in the body. And, as I said, you're not digesting properly, your blood's not circulating properly, and you just start getting the overall syndrome of metabolic shutdown and very high stress levels. The hormones close down as well, etc. So anyway, I saw a lot of these out of balance situations as well. We did the skio, and I sent her a lot of stress adaptogens. Stress adaptogenic herbs would be things like astragalus, ashwagandha, Siberian ginseng, shatavari. You can even get them schizandra berry, which also does the liver, by the way. Rhodiola, those kind of herbs, very, very strong and powerful adaptogenic herbs, which incidentally are in the stress defense shield and the brain fuel that I have as well. So those products have got that product has got all the building block nutrients, proteins, long chain sugars, which the brain needs. They're non-sweet because of the algae, 3 algae in there, blue-green algae included, the medicinal mushrooms, chaga, maitake, shiitake, cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane. So you get a long chain sugar from that. all the medicinal properties of those products as well. 7 or something adaptogenic herbs, also the schizandra berry, as I said, and also aromatase inhibitors, which are very important to ward off all the plastic that we touch that lodges in the body, in particular the liver as well. That is an aromatase inhibitor. Passion flower, chamomile, those products do that for us automatically. So all of that's in that product. I sent the Stress Defense Shield along, knowing that it was going to start feeding the adrenals, calming the body down. That's what an adaptogenic herb does. It works with the body differently in you compared to me, balancing the body beautifully. And then also some almost gold, because almost gold now is the capacitor. That is the almost the cell phone plug-in. If you want to plug your body in, you take almost gold. And I must also tell you about this one here. Okay, this lady. I'm just making a note so I don't forget. So the almost gold is your plug-in. It's an energy capacitor over and above the fact that it also, gold is a big detoxifying element, the biggest detoxifying mineral on the planet. And it works on every single organ and system of the body. And the red blood cells are just beautiful. So it creates that nice zeta potential between the red blood cells and health. So I sent that along as well, the microbiome reset, of course, the flaxseed oil, of course, and the cell vitality oxygen drops, of course. Well, this lady put her head down and did whatever I said. And, you know, I keep saying that because when I work sometimes at the pop-up shops at Jackson's or Woolita, and the clients come in and they see me there, and they were there the week before, they'll go up to the person sitting with me or the couple sitting with me and say to them, whatever you do, do what she says. It works. Look at me. It's a week later and I'm bouncing around. So she did what I said. And this is credit, because at the end of the day, I'm only as good as the people coming in. You know what I mean? Anyway, so lo and behold, when we did the second follow-up skio, the hypoadrenia risk factor was off. It wasn't anywhere near the high risk factor readings at all. Her energy levels were up. She was feeling completely different. So it just shows you actually what can happen in a week. And I'm finding that the turnaround time is getting quicker and quicker with people. So so something's going well, we're doing something really right. And I think also the people are working hard. And, you know, also all credit to this lady, because she understood physician heal thyself. She took self-responsibility. She understood what I was saying as an educator, as somebody who was making her that one little step more aware of her health and what she needed to do. So it's going to be very interesting to see the third follow-up quantum skio assessment, and to see, you know, where the land lies in that as well. So I'm very, very, very pleased. No names mentioned, but with that one, it's actually it's a huge case study, and I have everything recorded. So very, very, very well done to her. It just shows you what can happen. And sometimes people experience what we call a defining moment, and they've timed out. They know it's time. They have to get out of where they are. They need that reset. So reset is always our first point. Then we restore, and then we rejuvenate, and then we rejoice. So it's the 3 R's, the 4 R's basically. But that reset is so important, and it can happen very quickly. And then we will come with the nutrients, the nourishment, the Activa stem cells, for example, or bee pollen, or some more brain fuel or things like that, when we've reset the cell vitality. So that was good. And the toxicity levels were really down with her as well. And her nourishment, her cell vitality was right up again, 7, 8, or 9 out of 10. Her acid levels were more alkaline. She's moving more towards the alkaline state in the 7s as opposed to in the 6. So you see, getting back to stress, it really is a big killer, because you're just getting adrenaline and cortisol circulating around in the blood, hammering on every single cell 24/7. You see, we can cope with our sympathetic nervous system. We see a lion, we can run up the tree, the lion will go past, and everything will reset. But what's happening with the stress now, it's a long-term, ongoing, chronic stress. that wears the body down, makes the body very acidic, messes up the hormone system, and overloads the adrenals. So we really are seeing, due to the reset that's going on in the world right now, just over a long period of time of stress. And there's many of the stresses. And what's happening to people as well is that the old forgotten stresses that they've stuffed down so hard and that are also rearing their head as well, and really requesting from us to deal with it all. Surrender. I always say, take out your notepad, and on the one side, put what you're leaving behind, what doesn't serve you anymore, what you're not taking with you into the new phase. And then write on the right-hand side what you are taking, the behaviors that you're going to be doing, and the new. And one of my favorite things at the moment is, who are you serving? In what you're doing, are you serving your company? Are you serving only your family? Are you serving whatever else it could be, or are you actually serving yourself? So I had a lady today. She's actually one of the South African ambassadors to another country, and she was working before and had to stop for 4 years because of stress and her adrenals. She's come back into work now after 4 years, and I measured her today, and her stress levels are finished again. The adrenals are low again, and I said to her, if you don't be careful, you're heading for exactly the same. The same pattern is appearing. And I just asked her one question. I said, who are you serving? And she just looked at me and she said, okay, I've got it. So I said to her, you need to rearrange this. Your job needs to serve you. Your job, your vocation, it needs to serve you. And in serving you, you can then either that is your purpose in life, or you can then go and do your purpose in life, because we need to serve our purpose. Okay, so we need to serve our purpose. And watch out, I've got another one, a very big client. I always like to just see who's in the audience, because it can make it a bit real or a bit not so real. But also, they ran this company, a huge company. And because of legal restrictions and government changes and all the rest of it, they weren't able to meet the obligations and so on and so forth. Anyway, and, here's this man, 53, and all he did was serve his own company. Well, I don't know how many years, 20-something years. He served his company. He was a slave to his company. So it's almost like it's folding now. It's almost like the soul is taking him out of that space and pushing him into a new space and forcing him to reprioritize things and to start serving himself and his own purpose where he is in life. And these are the kind of discussions I'm having with people right now, really deep, high-level discussions about why we're here and the future and what do we really need and what really is wealth. Wealth may well be land with water. Think about it, because those people are going to be able to feed themselves and drink water, and maybe people in a hexagonal smart city in the middle of the city are actually the poorest, because those highways can get blocked and the food doesn't come through. So it's really a question now of reprioritizing everything, our whole life, what's important to us, who's important to us, who isn't important to us, who's an energy drain, who's an energy feeder, uplifter to us. And it doesn't actually matter what's going on. The movie does not matter. Put the movie over there. What matters right here and now is you, in your personal space, in the present, right? And where you are, how you are going to leverage from here going forward. What you're taking with you and where you're going, and you point your ship, laser strike direction forward, and you go. Not looking left, not looking right. Forget about the drama. The drama is a distraction, it's a distortion, and it's there for those who want to follow, right? Those people who are wise enough. And it's basically they're serving, by the way, they're serving the drama, because all they're doing is reading and forwarding. You're serving the drama. That's not getting you anywhere. All right. I think we all know already now about the drama. So leave it. That drama is necessary because that is like one massive tsunami pushing humanity forward. And all of us are undergoing mini, medium, major tsunamis in one way or another right now. So we want to welcome the chaos, welcome the shift, not get stressed by it, not wind ourselves down, keep our body as our temple, get in the sun, air, water, grounding, nature, good sleep. I said water, hydration, and then high frequency foods, intelligent foods that are going to guide you, like medicinal mushrooms, chaga, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, blue-green algae, spirulina, bee pollen, raw jelly, sprouts, organic fruits and seeds and nuts. Those are foods that are going to guide us. The dear lettuces and tomatoes and cheeses and chickens and stuff are not going to guide us. Okay. Most times they're cooked as well. So you can grow your lettuce to be more and more and more intelligent for you. Yes, you can. But these other foods are operating on another level completely, a completely other vibration. Microbiome reset, the microbes, very, very intelligent. Goji berries, very intelligent. The goji berry scientific name is lyceum, to educate. So you allow that education, re-education, innate wisdom of the body to be educated. And then you, with a crystal clear mind, you navigate yourself. Okay, so we got to watch the stress in these adrenals, because it's a big problem to raise those adrenals. And some people get so flat that, there's products on the market, animal adrenal powder, to actually force it even more to raise the energy. So we raise our energy with the almost gold and the high frequency nutrients, which you're all very well aware of. Eh? Okay. So very, very, very well done to that lady. Then I've got another one. And, I get these quite often as well. So she came to me absolutely flat as well, riddled with spirochetes, Lyme's disease spirochetes. They're little spirals, genetically modified organisms called Lyme's disease. You get all different ones, all different rickettsias, all different shapes and forms. Okay, the GM ones, but we're going to focus on this right now. So I put her blood on the microscope over here. We had a look in the screen, and I showed her all of them. And I showed her what they were doing. And then we had little ones, we had medium size, and we had really long ones as well. And they just swim. And then they swim everywhere over the whole body. And they actually, I showed her the red blood cells in which they grow. And then the little tail comes out, and then they pop out, and then they swim. So lots of damaged red blood cells, and this particular lady she'd had the Lyme's disease for what she knew of, since it was diagnosed, for 4 years, but probably longer than that. And she'd been on years and years of antibiotics and all sorts of things, and 1 month antibiotics on, another month antibiotic off. And her gut was terrible. There was leaky gut all over the place. I showed her also on the microscope. I showed her blod. I showed her the leaky gut. And so when you see your blood, it's in your face. It's quite an epiphany. You can't ignore it because they're there. It's not an abstract thing. You have infection. You actually see these things. And you see them in the red blood cells. It's not funny. Anyway, gave her the Peri-Immune Defense, which is it's got a top 7 herbs for bacteria, funguses, and all these man-made ones. And also cell vitality, oxyminerals, also flaxseed, also microbiome reset, also iodine, because iodine kills. So this will be a typical sort of C program as well, because it's all the same. Okay. It'll be a typical, also all those other terrible, terrible chronic diseases. I don't want to say, because I'll just take this thing off. Okay, whatever you can think of the worst, this is the protocol for that as well. We put people in the sauna too, because twice, sometimes 3 times a week, because that sauna will nail also those toxins and all the other toxins. So just to say, when we've got a Lyme's disease, it's never one. There's many co-factors, co-infections. And to name them I would be here for a long time. So there's lots of co-infections. Hey, where's my lady gone? She coming back? Just checking, hold on. All right, there we go. I'm back here. It's a quite important point that I'm making right now. So you get this, what they call a biofilm. Okay, this mucus gelatinous type of muck in which these organisms live and hide, basically. So if you want to really get through that, you do need something like oxygen to blast through. You also need enzymes to do this. So something like Triphala, all right, which is the 3 fruit enzymes, will actually also just dissolve this biofilm on impact. The cell vitality oxygen drops do too, and the ormus. So we need to break that down so we can get in there and start cleaning up as well. Many of them live in that calcified tissue in the ears, the kidneys, on the bone, in the arteries, and all in the plaque in the brain as well. And they live in a little shell. They're like little mollusks. And so to try and get them is also very difficult. That's why I use the chunkopoedra for that too. And then we can descale, and as we descale, those organisms are set free, and we can nail them quickly as well. Because you see, these things are so clever, and you think you're better, but you're not. And then they will lie latent in a very low level. You see, a parasite, you don't have an infection. And you're sick some days and you're not sick the other days. A bacterial infection, you know it. You have a temperature. Okay? So this is the thing with the parasites. You never know if you're sick or you're not sick, but there is this total downward spiral. And people think you're crazy. They think you're nuts. But you're not. It's very real. And the symptoms are terrible. Sleep, high blood pressure. So we're going to get to that one as well just now. Just want to close here quickly if you don't mind. Just put her on some oxygen here. Just put on some long-term oxygen and just kill all these infections, because I've just sent a message to her daughter of 2 serious parasites that she has. She has a blood pressure of 220 over 125. I'm not joking. 220 over 125. It's sitting now 158 over 98. So we're getting there. Anyway. So we've got to get these organisms out. We need to see them, we need to show people them, and then we need to nail them. With our products, with the quantum skier, with infrared sauna. Removal of anything sweet, removal of white rice, white potatoes, those kind of foods, because they break down into sugar that's worse than sugar, by the way, worse than fruit. You'll find the blood pressure's out. You'll find also the adrenals are worn down, and all those typical stress problems as well. So she came back after 2 weeks, a new lady. She said, Jane, I've got my life back. She said, I'm changing my job. I'm moving. I've resigned. I'm going here. I'm going there. I've never felt better. But you see, they get stuck because she had another session of antibiotics, which virtually nailed her. And she called me in the middle of it, and she said, I went and did this course of antibiotics because it was in the program, and I did tell you all of that, and I can't do it ever again. I'm coming to see you. Let me try and regain a little bit of strength and let this all wear off. So people get caught in the trap. They've got 3 more chemos to do. So let me just do the chemos, and then I'm going to come to you, Jane. Well, fine. It's your journey. It doesn't matter to me. But same thing. So we were able to show her in 2 weeks. Now, when I put her blood under this microscope, and I looked, and this is unheard of. I saw 1 or 2 spirochetes only after seeing hundreds. Literally, the screen was full of them. I found 2. This is in 2 weeks. Now, I've never known this to resolve itself so quickly. I've never known them to disappear so quickly. That's what I'm saying to you. Something's happening. There's something all powerful around here that this is happening. So I really, really rejoiced about this because I found this a massive breakthrough. And then, you see that the leaky gut is starting to repair and there's no more blood sugar problems and the energy capacity, their charge, their voltage, the amperage is raising and the toxins are leaving. It's just really, really lovely. So I'm very, very proud of that lady as well. And then we've got another one who very stressed, okay, called me. She had all the COVID symptoms starting. So we got to work very, very quickly because we have to. And we give the drops, we give the DMSO, which is a liquid form of MSM, very, very powerful. And it's actually a driver, so it takes the drops even further, even quicker, and you need less drops at the same time. So anyway, set her off on all of this and also over talking. And eventually I start multitasking because I can't listen to this endless stream of words. Anyway, and telling me about her friends and all of this. Anyway, so we started working with her. We had some results. Straight iodine, para-immune defense, also the flaxseed oil, the microbiome reset, the cell vitality drops, and the DMSO basically. And so she repaired well, right? And then kind of it dawned on her that she was feeling better and she was doing better and she had more energy, but she didn't want to allow herself to get better. This can also be because people like to feel down, some of them, right? So she had a downward slump. So I called her. She said, Jane, no, I'm not getting better and all my friends are, and why aren't I? And I've already done what they've done and it didn't work for me either. And she was going on like this. I said to her, yes, well, look at your adrenals, look at your stress levels. What is eating you? You've got to start now addressing what's eating you, because if you don't, you're not going to get out of this. And I said to her, your family needs you, so you better wake up and put some plan together regarding pulling yourself out of this. So, anyway, then we spoke about the stresses, which were real. And then she carried on with and her increase in her trajectory, and she got better. So you see, there's a multifunctional things happening with people, and many times there's emotional and neurological factors that are at play as well. And they're either causing the low adrenals or being exacerbated by the lower adrenal levels and stress levels in the body. So we've pulled Heidi out. She never ended having to go to hospital. And we cleared a mycoplasma, which is also man-made. And I can tell you now that it's in every single COVID patient in hospital, every single one. And I can say that categorically because they've generally got it in the lungs already. It's a type of a TB. And they then go to hospital and they get loaded with antibiotics and antifungals, which most instances, these things aren't bacteria or funguses. They're man-made, man-generated. So what happens is the man-made ones then overgrow, and the mycoplasma covers the entire lungs and forms lesions and ulcers. It's terrible. And they end up dying of the mycoplasma. I can show you on every single one of where the people didn't make it. Now, people phone me, they're already in the ICU, they're already on the ventilator. Okay, so, and then I go in and I try and help a little bit and ease everything for people. And every single time a mycoplasma. So this lady also had the mycoplasma. This lady with the high blood pressure also has the mycoplasma. So we've got to watch this. And where do we pick them up? I suppose on surfaces, in restaurants, in the air. However they decided to be disseminated. So she's now dealt with her stresses, her emotional, neurological, and she's, as I say, she's on that trajectory. So we've pulled her out as well. So, and then she's just one of them. So, as I say, I posted that list of that profile list of the typical cases that end up with COVID and often in hospital at the same time. If there's an ounce of sadness in your life, together with this mycoplasma and anything else that comes your way, your lungs are not going to cope. If you've got vaccination toxicity in your lungs, for example, diphtheria from when you were young, very hard for the lungs to sustain health. Asbestos, silicosis, stuff from mines. If you've got that stuck in your lungs, really get it out as soon as possible. And we get it out with flaxseed oil lining the lung mucous membrane and the cell vitality oxyminerals, and they're just going to shoot it all out for us. That will just kill and target any parasite. Literally pulls the electron envelope off the free radical electron that's circulating in the outer orbit of the free radical. It pulls the electron envelope off, all the particles fall out, rendered inactive. And then that little envelope actually activates the molecule even further. And then all that's left is chlorine, and it binds with the sodium, and you've got salt. So very, very nice. Very, very nice, interesting process. Okay, so that's, let me just see this question here maybe. How does the mycoplasma come? So yeah, it's the same as all of them, even the Lyme. So there's lots of stories, you see, because they're those ticks. How did the ticks get it? How do the spiders get it? How do the how does the pig get tapeworm? How does a cow get cow mad foot disease or foot and mouth disease? You know, how does this all happen? So it's going to be appearing in either childhood vaccinations or in our food or on surfaces, as I said, water, air. And if your immune system is slightly low, it's going to lodge and stay. And then, as I said to you, every time when you're stressed and your immune system dips, then the infection rears its head. And then you will cope a little bit. And then when you're stressed and the immune system dips, it rears its head again. And this is all over the world. This is in every country. So cold, damp winters will exacerbate a TB type infection, because it just will, because it's too damp. Yeah. And that pneumonia that sets in is very scary with the C patients. Very scary. And as I said to you also, it's never one. So there'll be a co-hosting. So this lady now, we're co-hosting a whole lot as well. And, you know, I'm just going to say also at this point in time, with the severity of these organisms and the toxins out there, environmental, chemical, it's very hard for the liver to cope with all of those toxins and detoxify you. So you do need to sauna. Come to the infrared sauna here at my center and just experience it. You will be amazed. You see clearer when you come out of there. You think clearer. You feel like you've had a week's sleep because it's lifted the lid of the toxins and they've all gone out. You've sweated them out. Your skin feels like a baby. You know, do your exercises. Take your detox products. We must detox. Our ancestors knew they would dig a big hole like a pit in the soil. They would go in below subsoil level, and they would sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat and come outside again and go in again and sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat. You know, they knew about it and they never had the toxins to deal with that we do. So let's, you know, just observe that too. Really, one must detox. And that infrared ray is incredible. It penetrates the body by 4 centimeters. All right, and it just restores. Same as the quantum QUEX eductor skio, because the electromagnetic frequencies will detox. And the skio reads exactly what you got, so it gives you exactly what you need back. the right amount of time. All right. So the last one I want to just speak to you about is what's that? Breast cancer. This is a real breakthrough, and I'm just so happy. Well, I'm so happy about all of these, and these are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 random ones that that have come through, but there's a lot more. And this blood pressure one, we need to sort her out. So breast cancer, right? This girl, I just want to see if they're sitting here. Can't see exactly, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Actually left her country, came to South Africa for this treatment protocol at a natural cancer treatment center. Lots of drips, hectic EDTA metal chelation treatment. EDTA, it strips the entire body of every single mineral that it possesses. You feel flat, you feel terrible, you've got no charge, because in order for us to get electromagnetic charge, we need minerals. So here we've got the EDTA pulling the whole lot out. I mean, seriously. And all the toxicity and the chemo, and they go in and out of these centers for 4 out of 5 days a week with chronic headaches from all the synthetic toxins and all the rest of it. Anyway, this dear breast cancer tumor just kept growing until it reached 4 centimeters. Could absolutely feel it, right? And she also didn't know what to do, because they live on Dr. Google, right? And they live on all the testimonies and doctor this, so-and-so that, whatever, and their protocol, right? And they follow and they do it. And they actually become almost walking encyclopedias, and they can truly repeat all these protocols and things. Anyway, the problem is this tumor kept growing, even though she was doing everything she was doing. So I said to her, well, look, this is, if it was me, this is what I would do. I gave her the whole program. And so then the story is, well, you know what? I just want to finish my series of chemos. So I don't know if she'd prepaid or what, but anyway, even if you'd prepaid, I'm sure you could actually get some money back. But anyway, so I have to wait for the people to get to the point where they want to then surrender to what's not stopping the tumor growing. It was growing on a daily basis. So anyway, so what we did was we started with Ormus and raw jelly, and she still did a bit of what she was doing. So high doses and frequent doses of Ormus and the raw jelly as well. So she walked out with about 1.5 liters of Ormus and for 2 weeks. And well, I promise you, she came in, and in spite of the other stuff that wasn't working, this tumor started shrinking. It started getting smaller. It was absolutely amazing. And then she got to the point where there was only, she then missed one of the chemos, and then she missed the last one as well, because then she went on to our program full. So she's actually going back to her country now, and this little tumor is really small. I used the quantum scale as well. It's nearly gone. And well, that was another massive breakthrough, because it's very scary to have something like this growing in you and not being able to do anything. Everything you've Googled and tried is not working. So we are very, very, very blessed to have, I think, the products, and I think the field that we work in, because it is a field. It's a positive field that gets people right. So that's her. And then now we've got this blood pressure lady. So as I said to you, we started at 225 and 220 over 125. It was hectic. And then we now are 158 over 98. So actually they called me, and she said, my mom needs to come and see you. But they didn't say anything. When they got here, she said they think she had a stroke last week. So I looked at this, and the lady was very poorly and slurring and everything. So I quickly put the blood pressure machine on. That's how I knew. Anyway, I put her on the skier. I ran all the programs, and we put her on our very high blood pressure stroke type protocol, and we've brought it down. We've managed it. We've kept her out of hospital. We've kept her out of ER. in all these sea-riddled places. So I'm really, really, really thrilled about her too. And I can't wait to see her face rearranged, because as the oxygen goes through, it can then start fixing the nerve endings and any of the dead tissue, remove the degenerative tissue and let the new tissues and cells regrow. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've said to you today. Anyone who's new, all these videos get put on my YouTube channel, which is Jane McKenzie, and also on my website library. So you can go and have a look and see at whatever date, whichever one you missed, and you can there are links there, so you can then go and listen to all of them and learn. I know a lot of people like doing that. And I just want to also announce something to everyone. We've got 4 beds, and I've set up a clinic that's ready to cope with these extreme high blood pressures and the C patients and cancer patients. And we are actually doing what we call a CDS drip, which is actually the drops that we have. We make a very special water called CDS water. It's the most sparkling golden yellow color you could ever imagine, and that goes intravenously into people, and we get results very, 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 very quickly. So that is like literally natural oxygen going straight into the blood, but it's an oxygen that the frequency is lower than the normal oxygen breath. So same as the cell vitality drops. It's a very, very subtle oxygen, and the blood just takes that oxygen everywhere very quickly. So just to tell you, is we have 4 beds now, and we're going for it. I'll tell you what started it off is that it's really, really depressing when people are in hospital on those ventilators. So what I wanted to do was I want to kill that mycoplasma and all those terrible things as quickly as possible, so people don't end up having to go to hospital. So that's really new. It's very exciting, and then of course I mentioned the time crystal device, which is on the website as well. Go and have a look at it. As I've said to people, if you resonate with it, you want one. It's not even maybe. It's just how you're going to pay, when you're going to pay, and it's all online, so it's all immediate, and we're getting amazing results with it. It's a sustained scalar wave field around you, sustained torsion field. All my research, all my trips to Russia, all my trips around the world, learning, looking at things, looking at dome-shaped buildings with more than 4 corners, and everything that I've learned and studied. So it's about the morphogenic field, the universal field, that is where the scalar wave operates from. It's where we come from. It's our natural field. It's a circle. It's not a linear wave. And that's what the quantum skio resets and restores and rejuvenates. It's what 365 products do, because they're completely natural as nature intended. Allowing the innate wisdom of the body to take over, all in the scalar wave form. So the body doesn't have to do anything to it. If it's been processed or heated or transformed or patented, the body, it's a toxin to the body. The body's got to rearrange it. Like tap water, the body's got to rearrange tap water. But if you drink spring water, it knows exactly what to do, and it takes the energy. So everything we've done, everything I've talked about, if I talk about flaxseed oil and I talk about it having the highest life force, it has a high scalar wave energy. It's cold pressed. And if I talk about blue-green algae or pollen or cordyceps mushrooms or whatever, and in the natural form, it's all in a scalar wave. It's all in the quantum field. So I think you're getting the picture. The more we feed ourselves quantum-based food, the higher our life force, the higher our vibration, and at the end of the day, the higher our consciousness. So all these people I've talked about and then more have achieved a higher level of self-consciousness through their perceived illness, their perceived disease. And the more their consciousness is raised, the more mine is, and vice versa. And because we're all interrelated and integrated, and our Our subconsciouses are everywhere on the planet. We are everywhere right now. So what's going on in Japan is even affecting us, or Los Angeles, or Moscow, or South Pole. So our subconscious is connected everywhere on the planet. Our conscious is here. Our superconscious is also interconnected. And that is where we get the universal flow. That is where we get the energy. That is where we get the clues. That's where the wisdom is. In order to heighten our awareness, heighten our degree of understanding of ourselves, the world, raise our consciousness, we need to work with that and eat the foods that are in that space as well. Right? If you're eating 3 days old dead food, you're gonna look like that. Honestly, if you're eating the high vibrational stuff, you're gonna have energy. You're gonna be holding your body. You're gonna be straight. You're gonna be organized. You're gonna be doing what you need to do, and that's really my aim. So it doesn't matter what the people came in with. We reset them the same way, give or take a couple of products depending on their detox organs. All right, and what was really showing up. If it was metal toxicity or Lyme's disease or whatever. And the restoration process happens as the body restores itself, and the rejuvenation process again happens as the body rejuvenates itself too. The whole time we're coming in detoxifying and nourishing, and detoxifying and nourishment. The immunity is building and the genes are restoring back to the natural, authentic, original genetic code. So that we're not the ancestors of an endangered species. We're the ancestors of a growing new humanity. A humanity that's more wise than us, more intelligent than us, that does things more authentically. Okay, so that's the message. And I see there's another little question here, I think. Okay, so that's so Gloria's just going to go. All right. So any more questions, anyone? People who want to come and learn and be practitioners, let me know. People who want to come and help with our center, put the cranulas in, put the drips in, please let me know, because we do need people. I want to be open 24/7. Not quite during the night, but every day, 7 days a week, I would like to be open so that we're ready for people to just come in and get helped, come in and get helped. And, even adrenal shutdown, those terrible nervous breakdown is what the word used to be. Come in, because we can restore you quickly and remove the toxins that are actually exacerbating the condition. Okay. All right, so we'll see you next week. Anything that I've talked about is on the website. If you want to know more about Almost Gold, there's a little video clip and there's a write-up on it as well. And, you can see the product if you want to know more about cell vitality or stress defense shield or microbiome reset, whatever. It's all there. It's really a learning space. If you want to get top-up products, obviously you can get them online, but you can also go to Walida, Pine Slopes, and Bryanston. You can go to Jackson's, Bryanston, and Kailami. And there are various other scattered health shops, but those are the flagships. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time. The water that we make, it's called CDS water. Okay. And there's very specific protocols. It needs to be administered properly, as all these things. All right. Have the very best rest of the day. Have a healthy time. Set your course and follow it. Avoid the distraction, because that's just waste of time. Okay. All the best. Bye.